Let's take a look at the word that I have picked for you. And that word is acceptance. Acceptance. I think we'll have to take a closer look. I do see some endings. I see maybe disappointments, but transformations. Maybe what we're being asked at the time with the word acceptance is no matter what situation we have found ourselves in, there was a need to accept things for what they were. Now, let's first take a look at Cancer. I'm going to tell you what cards are here, and then I'm going to just tell you the messages that I get from the cards. First, we have the Eight of Swords, the Seven of Cups, and the Five of Cups. I've got the Death card, the Three of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. We've also got the Knave of Swords, or the Page, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Judgment card. So what I see in this collectively, what this is telling me for Cancer, is that there was a situation for Cancer, maybe not so long ago, maybe, within the last, 5 years possibly, maybe a little longer. There was a situation that you found yourself in, but it feels very restrictive. You were maybe, I almost see this blue sky as water, and I almost feel like Cancer was surrounded by water, as if you were on an island. Maybe it felt that way for Cancer, but I feel a serious sense of being trapped, being surrounded by something, and not being able to properly release from the situation. But something occurred around a love situation, because we have the Seven of Cups, a confusion, kind of a clouded feeling, next to the Five of Cups, which talks about 3 cups spilled. That's the milk spilt card. That's don't cry over the spilt wine. There's more wine. Just turn around and see it. But there was a resistance maybe for someone to see what was clearly still left in a situation. And they were forced to maybe release from that situation, walk away from it. There was maybe some confusion, some fear, some hurt feelings. This is a plethora of emotion that we've got here. And knowing that we've got all of these heartfelt feelings going on here, while we're feeling isolated, maybe trapped, we need to look at what has been the disappointment. And I don't know if we're going to be able to isolate it, but let's take a look. Whatever it was that happened on your career path, whether this was a broken relationship that made you change directions with your career, or this was a career separation that made you take a new path in life. We've got the transformation with the Death card. The Death card talks about a situation maybe not suitable for you on the path you wanted to be on, and taking a brand new path with the Death card. There's a transformation. Something ends so that something can begin. And so we've got this start over, this do-over here, this transformation, and I clearly see that next to the Three of Pentacles, it talks about working with others. So maybe going from an isolated situation, you've been able to move or transform into a situation where you're working successfully with others. And I see there's success here for some of you because of the Wheel of Fortune. talks all about fortunate things happening, the wheel turning positively. So I think to reflect quickly on the acceptance, the word acceptance. I think some of us may have had a hard time if we're a Cancer, looking at the disappointment of a situation and moving on from it. And there was an acceptance of the situation and the need to transform and move forward. So now we've moved forward. Maybe we're working successfully in groups, in large groups and small groups, but there's success. You may actually be the supervisor here because you've drawn the Wheel of Fortune. It's a very fortunate card. So this can say that you may have even stepped up position after making this transformation. But this is good, positive movement forward. It's a more fortunate thing that happens to us. Now, we've got the Page of Swords. This is information coming forth. Next to the Ace of Pentacles tells me we've got good news coming our way during this period of time around our finances. Some of you actually may be doing something new. You may be doing something you may be trying something new, attempting to get a new project off the ground. But we're waiting here. There's a judgment here, a judgment call on someone's part that may be holding us up on the career path. But we've got something here that we want to launch. We know there's good fortune around this thing that we're trying to get off the ground. But we're being held up here with someone's decision or a judgment call around something. Maybe we're waiting for financial approval to come through from a bank, something like that. But we're waiting on a judgment call to come through on finances. Now, I do not know what the finances are around this situation, or maybe we're waiting for approval on a building, or we're waiting for that one contract that we know is going to get us off the ground. Usually with this card, there's success. There's usually the rising from the ashes. We may have been sitting in a really kind of a bad way for a while in the waiting pattern, in that holding pattern. But this tells us that a decision is going to be coming our way regarding this decision, this judgment. But this is a big judgment. This isn't really about the mundane things. This isn't about the mundane. This is about the big things, the big decisions, that perfect building, the right contract, the right amount of money being siphoned into our building. But there's, again, I feel that things are going to be what they are. It is what it is what Spirit is saying. And there may have to be an acceptance, a need to deal with it when it comes. So it may not be as much as you thought it was going to be. That may be this immature message coming from the Knave of Cups. So that may be what we're feeling with the clouds, the indecision. Again, let's look at the fortunate thing that comes from this. Okay? So this is where we're at now. We're waiting on decisions. If the decision has already been made during this time, you will start feeling that rising from the ashes, whoever this is referring to. Now, let's talk about your money. The 6 of Diamonds, the 2 of Hearts, the 4 of Hearts, the 9 of Clubs, the 10 of Spades, the 8 of Spades, the 6 of clubs, the king of clubs, and the nine of diamonds. Now, I do see that there are quite a few things that you have been working diligently on here. But what I find interesting is here we had the death card referring to your transformation. And here we have the 10 of spades. And the 10 of spades is the death card. It is the ending so that something new can begin. So I'm going to tie this, whatever it was that came into your career path, also has affected your financial path. Now, we talk about your money. First we say, like I told you, at the very center we have the 10 of spades. That's the death card. More or less, if I was to, I could say that this is the same card. Okay, but it's at the very heart of your financial issues. We also have a lost association here with the 8 of spades. And I can say that this is the situation that maybe you had to move away from because of an error, because of a heartbreak, but it forced you to leave a career path that you were on. And frankly, from what I can see here, you were feeling restrained anyway, and whatever the situation was happening around you, you were feeling confined in the situation regardless of what was going to happen anyway. So we have a lost association. We know that. We know that it's also connected to your finances and the career path. Was this loss of an association, whether it was a company that you moved away from or a relationship that you moved away from. You may have found success from what you learned during that process. You may have grown from that ending. That's the transformation with the death card. It's also the rising from the ashes with the judgment. So we're coming up out of a bad time financially, frankly, from what you've grown from, what you've learned from in the past. And a lot of it is connected to this breaking away, this disappointment that caused us to break away on our career path. Again, sometimes we just have to accept things for what they are and move on. Okay. So, we step out of a place of comfort. We're moving forward. The 9 of Cups says that we're moving away from what has gotten in our way, and we're stepping forward, but comfortably into a new space. We've maybe had to travel or move on physically from where we were at during this transformation. But we've started a new cycle and we're moving forward. That is what we see with the 9 of Diamonds. That tells us that what we've been working on, our main focus, we're approaching the top. We're getting to the top of what it is that we're looking to complete, what we're wanting to manifest. You're manifesting what it is that you are desiring at this time. Now, with the King of Clubs here, it tells us you're doing all of this through mastered skill, through shifting and maneuvering resources. Again, I feel that acceptance of the situation is really important with this, because sometimes we have to maneuver things that we really don't want to maneuver, as if maneuver ourselves out of relationships, maneuver ourselves out of places of comfort, and taking on a challenge that may not have been as comfortable as you would have liked it to have been. But There's a mastering of skills, and we've adjusted our resources and we've made the necessary changes in order to come out of something on the top. So we're in a healthier, happier, more stable situation with the Four of Hearts. This talks about, again, more traveling through business. If traveling through business is something that you really want to do, that is absolutely a possibility during this time period if it's what you're looking to manifest. Absolutely, some of you may have, like I've said, moved homes in order to find the accomplishment that you're looking for. Partnerships, perfect matches also coming through with the Two of Hearts. It talks about maybe finding love on the job. Maybe you move to a new city, and as a little bonus, my Cancers may meet the love of a life, especially after a possible break in a love relationship that had us maybe confined in a situation.